Welcome, everyone. It is Sunday, July 10th, 2022. Beautiful day in Western Massachusetts. I am Robin from the Berkshires, and I am the co-host. I'm honored to be here. And Richard Kuhns, the author of How to Get Your Life Back from Morgellons and Other Skin Parasites, is the host, and it's wonderful that he is here with us every Sunday. He's here to share his wealth of knowledge and to answer questions and to offer support. He never stops researching, and we help with that because we are his research team. But when we find something that works over time, we email Richard about it, and then he looks into it. He's, I think, the leading expert in the world on Morgellons and other skin parasites. He's been through it, just like I have, and all of you are going through it. And there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that's why we're here. So at this point, I'd like to introduce Richard Kuhns, author of How to Get Your Life Back from Morgellons and Other Skin Parasites.
Thank you, Robin. It's a pleasure to be here. And what's our topic today? We're kind of drawing straws, and you had suggested that we discuss something about the basics of disinfection, which is important. The program, let me first of all say, is based on a diet. And I know there are people who are suffering and can't get things going. You can disinfect and clean, but until you make that diet kick in, there's not much progress that you're going to make, that from my point of view. I mean, okay. Now, during before the program started being recording, I was listening to some comments being made and treatments, looking for treatments. Well, there is no treatment for Morgellons. However, anyone looking for medical treatment, I must direct you to Dr. Saverly, Dr. Bransfield, Dr. Cornish, and there are a couple other doctors listed in the book who will set an appointment up with you several weeks down the line when they're available and treat you for Lyme disease, aka Morgellons in their book, you know. So that being said, until then, there's no harm in you getting the diet to work, in making that diet work. For many of us, fortunately for me, it worked right away. And I knew that as soon as I just ate nothing but eggs, you know, the itching seemed to disappear, you know, and it took a year to figure out, you know, experiment adding corn chips and going crazy with itching and saying, well, I guess corn chips are not good for me. And then adding vegetables and finding that some vegetables are absolutely fine. Other vegetables, not very good, like Brussels sprouts. Well, who loves Brussels sprouts anyway? You know? But anyway, even asparagus was a problem for me. So corn, carrots, all problems. So that is the basis of the King Diet. My own experimentation. You can do it too. You can do it just as I did. You can keep a journal, notes, and record what you're eating and drinking. Oh, by the way, supplements. Get them out. Any supplements you're taking, unless you're getting them from us, put them in the back of the shelf somewhere, way back. Maybe 2 or 3 months from now, they'll be okay, but right now, they're going to be a problem for you. So stick with, make the diet work. And then as you make the diet work, then we focus simultaneously on getting them out of our environment, because you have been a walking, talking, breathing, shedding machine. And wherever they came from, You brought them into your abode, into your home, into your apartment, and have been walking about, and they've been jumping off or falling off and contaminating your bedroom, your living room, your kitchen, your bathroom, your basement, your workspace, everywhere you've been going, been contaminated. So we want to decontaminate. Now, in some cases, you didn't bring them into your house. In some cases, your house gave them to you. We call that a sick house, S-I-C-K. Maybe the sewer backed up, or maybe you had a flooded area and mold, mildew, and all that kind of stuff grew, and slime mold, and so it's important. Or maybe there's rodents in the attic, in the basement, and they're in the walls, and it's impossible to get them. Who knows? There are many things that contribute to a sick house, in which case then you may want to be looking at relocating and getting out of that sick house. Now, it's not that these organisms affect everyone, all right? Maybe only 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 15. So it doesn't mean that the organisms are going to be a problem for someone else who moves in and lives there. We don't know, okay? But it's important for you to get away from a sick house, if at all possible, or a sick apartment, if at all possible. Now, it's unlikely that you're going to get anywhere with your landlord if you're living in an apartment, unless you're dealing with an infestation of mites. See, Morgellons, you can't prove to anyone legally that you have Morgellons or that even Morgellons exist, because the CDC doesn't even recognize the organisms as being real. So there is no clinical diagnostic code for Morgellons, other than delusions of parasites. So the last thing I want anybody here to do is take samples to where? Where would you take samples, Robin?
I've taken samples to doctors.
What happens?
They say it's nothing. They say it's fibers or hairs, or they don't know what it is. I did get a skin scraping from a dermatologist that said, yes, you have mites, but we don't know what kind and we don't know how to treat them. I also took samples to, what do you call, entomologists, specialists in bugs from colleges, and once again, they said, we don't have a clue. So, yeah.
Unless you want to get classified as being delusional, do not take samples to doctors. Do not take samples to ERs, emergency rooms. You're going to be classified as loony. I'm sorry, that's the state of the medical profession as of today. It might change tomorrow, but I doubt it. It might change next year, but I doubt it. It could perhaps change 10 years from now. Perhaps, I don't know, but not today. Not today. So the FDA requires me to inform everybody on this call that before you start the King Diet, my diet, or accept any of our recommendations that we may discuss here today, that you are to thoroughly discuss them with your medical doctor to make sure they do not interfere with any health problems that you may be experiencing. The AMA, the American Medical Association, as well as the FDA, also require us to tell you that we're not doctors. We have not been medically trained. I know where the brain is, and I know where the buttocks are, but you know, okay, we're not doctors, all right? And therefore, only doctors are allowed to diagnose, treat, or cure any medical condition. So we are not here to cure, treat, or mitigate any medical condition. What we can do is educate. Educate you how to utilize the King diet for your benefit, how to clean the organisms out of your environment, because we're dealing with organisms, and how to clean them out of your skin. And we can educate you as to the targeted supplements that will build health and immune functioning. So that's what we're allowed to do. Now, today's topic, Robin's going to talk about the basic essential things to do to get started. You know, it's important that you read the book, and that you read the book. And if you saw this morning's update that went out, our coach Ethel in Florida was so kind to discover an app that you can download, and the instructions were given in the update. You can download the app, download the book, the PDF format, I suppose, and it will auditize. Is that a word? It will verbalize every word in the book. And in the beginning, someone, I think from California, was playing it and doing it for us. So, and if you have difficulties, her email address was given, and you can email her, and she'll get back to you, and she'll help you set it up. Because the more senses that you use, the book is overwhelming. Start with chapter 3 and chapter 4, all right? Now, if you want to know about the history of Morgellons or where it might have come from and all that stuff, and if you want to know whether or not I was actually affected by it or if I'm just somebody who claims to, read chapters 1 and 2. Chapter 2 is about the different theories, where it came from, or it could be a patented organism, it could be this or that, or it could be cloud seeding, chemtrails, it could be this, it could be that. Read chapter 2, and it'll tell you all about the diagnostic tests that are available, which are basically zero. Chapter 1, if you want to know about the hell on earth that I went through, you can relate with that. So you'll know that I'm real, and that this is not something that I'm just jumped in and thought I'd see if I could make an impact. No, I went through the hell. I had Morgellons, I had Columbula, whatever, I don't know how to pronounce it. I've had them for over 30 years or dealt with them, and I don't know how to pronounce it, but hey, dealt with Strongyloides cervicalis. I've dealt with chronic Lyme disease, which almost put me in the grave, and hot tub rash, and even skin fungus. I went through it all, and I discovered a diet. It's got 3 stages. Stage 1 is the strictest. Stage 2, you can add things like bananas and walnuts and green apples, which don't seem like a lot, but believe me, once you are at stage 1 for a period of time, you're really happy to have these extra foods that you can add. And then on to stage 3, where I've been for years, and I can eat anything I want. So there's hope at the end of the tunnel. I've plowed the way, and there have been hundreds of people that have come after me that have likewise been successful, as Robin can attest to, and Mary is in the path, and Ethel has gone through it, and we're looking for coaches. We're about to lose a coach. He's moving to Philippines and probably getting married, so we'll be looking for a coach to replace him. Okay, what do we do? So simultaneously, it's important to do 3, if not 4 things. Number 1, make the diet work. We talked about this often. There are different things that you can help get the diet to kick in. 2, clean your skin, bathing 3 times a day. I had to use hot scalding water with Nature's Gift, the debriding soap. It doesn't have to be hot, just warm, and add 45, 50 minutes along with a disinfectant in the tub to kill the organisms as they're extracted. You do that 3 times a day. You take along a little spray bottle during the day to apply to any areas that might have some itching or minor discomfort. So the idea is to get from one bath to the next bath with relatively little discomfort. And as I mentioned before, you've been walking around, you've been shedding these organisms jump off you, they fall off you, they're under your chairs, they're in your couch. You don't have to throw your furniture out. You just have to know how to disinfect it effectively. So, Robin, give us a little outline here of what you'd like to share about disinfecting.
Okay, well, it was more of scheduling stuff, because just like the book can be overwhelming, all the things you have to do at once can be overwhelming. So I just wanted to give a couple of suggestions on how to make it manageable. And the first thing is to get a calendar or an agenda, and then schedule the times that you're going to take a bath. Okay, that's the first thing. Schedule the times that you're going to shop, and make sure you bring the diet with you.
Let's stop here. Schedule the times you're going to take a bath.
Right.
Many people say, I don't have the time. You know what? The organisms don't give a crap. And when you lose your job, you're going to have a lot of time. So it's important to find the time now. I jumped in the bathtub at 11 o'clock at night, and sometimes I'd fall asleep there. Get up, go to bed. I'd get up an hour early, like 5 a.m., and jump in the tub for an hour or so. Coming home at 4 or 4:30, I jump in the tub for an hour or so. So either you find the time, or they're going to get worse, and you're going to lose your job, and then you're going to have all the time in the world but no place to live.
Right. And the thing is that, you know, you need to write it down.
Right.
You need to write it down. The only time people fail is when they don't schedule time to succeed.
You are in a fight for your life, and don't forget about it. Morgellons is never going to kill you. Never. It's not the kind of disease that is like cancer that will take your life. It won't, except by suicide, except by eroding you to the point that you're a bubble. You know, so it doesn't care. It's up to you to do this. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
No, that was great. That was great. So you schedule bath time. You schedule shopping time, making sure you have the right foods in the house. And then, especially if you're busy, like what I have done is I would schedule one afternoon a week where I would cook. I would cook a bunch of stuff. I would freeze some of it. I would make giant salads. I would make spaghettis. I would make rice spaghetti. But I would cook enough food for a week. And then I wouldn't have to think about, oh, my God, what can I eat today? I would have it. Okay? And it only would take 4 hours out of my week to do that. One evening.
Let me say one thing. There are a lot of people on this call that say, I can't cook. I am no good in Chapter 5. Well, read Chapter 5. Any idiot in the kitchen can follow those easy instructions and make the most delicious foods. Rob has contributed a lot of recipes there, and there are a lot of recipes that I've contributed. So don't give me that stuff that you're no good in the kitchen, because the organisms don't care whether you're good or not.
Anybody can cook. You just have to take a chance and go for it.
It's instructions. A, B, gives you
a directions.
And then it tells you how to prepare them.
Right, right. It's not rocket science. It's just a recipe.
Right.
Right? Okay, so, and then you need to schedule the disinfecting of the house. So it doesn't, so when you get up in the morning, after your bath or before, either way, you're going to spray your environment. If you are going to go into the kitchen to make coffee, you're going to spray the kitchen, leave for 15 minutes if you're spraying with ammonia, and then go back in. When you sit down in a chair at the table to eat, you're going to spray your area. And then you're going to spray when you leave.
Right.
Because just like Richard said, you're shedding these things, and until it gets under control, it's just going to be a habit. You do something over and over, and it becomes a habit, and you don't even have to think about it. You have a spray bottle there. You walk into the room, you spray. You leave the room, you spray. And then, once or twice a day, you schedule 10 to 15 minutes to spray the whole house quickly with an enzyme cleaner. or a disinfectant. And you can use the electrostatic spray, or you can just use a regular spray bottle. You can mix your own stuff. You can use fungicide 3 and make your own mixture. So you just go through quickly and spray everything. And then, right?
Chapter 3. Read chapter 3 over and over and over. It tells you every little nook and cranny.
Right. And you always start with the simplest way. So the simplest solution is ammonia or an enzyme cleaner. And you give it time to work. And if that doesn't work, there are lots of options in Chapter 3 how to up your game. But you start with the simplest and you give it time. And you schedule, so let's say like you're gonna spray the house at 10 a.m. every day and then maybe at 6 p.m. And you're just going to spray rooms that you go into and go out of. Okay? And maybe eventually you'll add that to swippering the floors. Or once a week you're going to wash the floors with the enzyme cleaner. But you start with what you can manage. You schedule laundry. So initially you probably have to do laundry every day. So you get up, you strip the bed, and you do the laundry. Damn, how long does that take? It shouldn't take that long. And you let it, and then you throw it in the dryer. And then at night you make the bed again. It's not...
Again, all instructions are in the book. Detailed. Right. Simple things like even a chair that you sit at a table. You spray the chair, but don't forget to spray under the chair. Don't forget to spray the legs. Remember, these things jump off of your legs within 8 to 10 inches in any direction. So don't just spray the top of the chair that you sit on. Spray the under part of the chair. Use that kind of thinking everywhere, even at your kitchen counter, at the sink or at the bathroom sink. There's a recess where your toe goes under, so you can stand close. That they jump in there. You got to spray that area. You got to spray around the toilet. You got to spray you got to disinfect the drains, the shower, the kitchen drain, the bathroom drains. You got all this. It's all in the book. You need to read the book and make a list of all the things you need to do.
And then you schedule them and you write them down, because then they're not in your brain. They're on paper. You look at your schedule and you just do the next thing. I have a great hack for doing drains. It's a house cleaning hack. Alexa taught me. And no, Alexa, stop. You take a quarter cup of baking soda and a tablespoon of salt. You put it in the drain, and then you pour in a cup of cleaning vinegar, and it creates this chemical reaction. And then you run really hot water for a few minutes. I've been doing it once a week to my drains, and they're clear.
Let's go through that again slowly.
Okay, sorry.
You take baking soda, a
quarter cup of baking soda, a tablespoon of salt, dump it in the drain, and then pour in 1 cup of cleaning vinegar. It creates a very intense chemical reaction. It bubbles up.
Just white vinegar?
Yeah.
Just white vinegar. Okay. Yeah, we don't want to waste good organic apple cider vinegar.
No, white vinegar or cleaning vinegar.
I've never heard of cleaning vinegar.
Cleaning vinegar, they sell it at Home Depot, at Walmart. It's it looks like white vinegar, but it's designed just for cleaning. It's very cool.
I'm learning.
Yeah, and after you pour the vinegar down the drain and you have the chemical reaction, then you just run hot water for 2 or 3 minutes.
We'll have to add that in the book. That's great.
It's fantastic, and it's really helped my drains.
See, we learn from each other. I've learned a lot of things from Robin. She's dealt with resistant organisms, and people write in things that work for them. So we learn from each other. As she said earlier, each of you are part of our research team. So, okay, what else? Any other tips?
So at night, when you take your last bath or shower, I recommend doing some kind of, lotion or essential oil cream, doing the hair treatment, covering your head, But you don't even have to, you just write down every night you're going to do this. You know, if you're having trouble with your eyes, you write down, you can set a timer or an app to remind you every 20 minutes you're going to rinse your eyes with...
This is the basics that Robin's going through. Then we have other chapters, what to do if they're in their hair, but not everybody's hair is infected. If your hair is infected, then we've gone over this technique many, many times, what you do for your hair, what you do for your nose, what you do for your ears. All of this we go through many times in this program, and it's also listed in the book. And it's important to do it.
Right, and I'm just reminding that you can write it down and add it to your daily routine. Anything you can get out of your head and onto paper is going to make your life easier because it lowers the stress. You don't have to worry about, oh my God, what am I supposed to do next? You just look at your agenda or your calendar. I have been flea bombing, ozoning, and spraying every 10 days like clockwork, and I'm almost done. I probably have another 3 months. But the thing is that you can look at my calendar for 3 months ahead. I have every 10 days with a big yellow marker circling it, flea bomb, because that's what it's taken me to get my house clear. And it's on the schedule. I don't even have to think about, oh my God, when am I going to do that? I just look at my calendar. So it makes my life so much easier. So much easier.
Great. Okay. Anything else before we close the segment? Mary, you have anything to add?
Well, what I do in my bathroom, I try to find easy things because I'm disabled. So I don't always have the energy and the ability to do things like other people do, but I know conversely healthy people work. So that, you know, it kind of equals out. But what I do in the bathtub is I'll fill the bathtub up partially and put in some bleach and just let it sit for days until I'm ready to take another bath in that tub, because I have several tubs in the house, and I'll rotate them.
That's great.
And yeah, and the water, it attracts the columbella, and the bleach kills them, and also the midges that can hatch in your skin. They're highly attracted to water, and the bleach kills them instantly, and within days their bodies just dissolve. So that's my easy hack for that.
Great. Okay. All right. Well, I guess that concludes this segment.